And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the winners match of tonight's broadcast of the Rex April Madness Group C. We have just featured our first two series of the night, and we have our two winners, I should say, as both Dark and Cure have fallen to the elimination matches. And now we are jumping into our fresh best of 5, as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the South Green Protoss player, the Red Protoss. Representing his new team, Team Vitality, it is Zoun. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the South Green Terran player, the Blue Terran. Representing Team Falcons, it is Bunny. Bunny, let's go. And if you're in the chat, you know what time it is Gamba time. Predictions are open. Place your bets on who you think will claim the series. Best of luck in the chat as we get into our TvP. Coming into this, Zoun is very well rehearsed and very well versed when it comes to this matchup, but at the same time, Bunny, I'm sure, was also watching. I'm sure he was watching. I'm sure he saw how close and how intense that series was between Zoun and Cure. On top of that, as a reminder, this is a best of 5, not a best of 3, so it's going to be a longer series, a longer back and forth, and I'm looking forward to a full series here. I'm looking forward to a game 4, potentially even a game 5. Both Bunny and Zoun, I want to believe they can go the distance, but we'll see. We'll see how we do open up. Now, when it comes to Zoun's playstyle, he did go for the same build every game, the same opener. 3-gate blink into charge, into +1, into Colossus. More or less did go for the same setup. There were some games, or actually I was going to say there were some games where he was more aggressive, but that is not true. Every game he also went for a faster third base, and he skipped his early War Prism as well. And Zoun, he did mainly play towards the mid game. Like that was Zoun's kind of goal. His end goal, his win condition was get into the mid game and then move on from there. So not overly aggressive early on. Because of that, if Bunny was watching those previous games, Bunny can recognize that, and we could even see Bunny go for like the Beyond build, right? I mean, it's too late at this point, but we could see like a 3cc setup before Starport, into a faster economy, into something that would put pressure on Zoun to try to punish, and something that we didn't really see last series was Zoun attempting to punish builds or attempting to punish greed, as he couldn't. So we'll see. For now, it is going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Zoun, getting into Blink. Meanwhile, it is going to be a 1-1-1 out of Bunny. See in chats, the French casters say the girls. I think we say that sometimes for probes, sometimes. But I'm okay calling all the workers the boys. I'm okay with it. I do know that, like, for the most part, that's mainly associated with SCVs, but that might also just be because SCV pools are a lot more prevalent in StarCraft, right? They're a lot more common. Usually when the drones are being pulled, it's like a 12-pool drone pool, or when the probes are being pulled, it's usually like in a panic when trying to hold on and trying to survive. But for sure, I can understand that. And understand. As for now, we are going to be settling into our mine drop. So we do have a mine drop setup here from Bunny, moving out with his Hellions. So far as Zoun does fully wall off the Hellions, they will not find a way in. Not here, not into the natural. So we do have a committed quadruple mine drop. So far as Zoun, he hasn't lost much to the mine drops, at least not from Cure. We'll see if Bunny is a little bit more successful. Drops are coming in. Meanwhile, Bunny, he will create an opening. Yep, does borrow here at the ramp. Boys being pulled away. Adept is going to create an opening. Hellions, they dive in. They try to. Oh my god, they get shut down. Whew. Clean defense here from Zoun. He shuts down the Hellions, shuts down the Widow Mines. Shot goes off. So we'll lose the Stalker in the process, but Zoun, he will hold, he will defend. Does defend, does deflect Bunny. Bunny looking for another opening. Zoun may intercept, as he is not expecting the medevac yet. The medevac does spot the rotation. Does pull back. Zoun, he blinks in. One more shot. Oh, can he get it? He can. Takes down the medevac. Ay, 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 takes down the barracks, takes down one of the Widow Mines, a brutal catch. Bonnie, he's in trouble. But remember, as you mentioned previously, Zoun, he has been skipping his prisms, and there is no war prism. Zoun, instead, he expands, getting a forge, getting into charge. That's going to be a second forge on the way. I don't know if that's intentional, but double forge is going to be crazy. And again, Zoun is containing his opponent and is not reinforcing. It's not reinforcing across the map. So Bunny, he's safe and sound. CC is on the way. We're building up. Building up into a longer game. Just getting to our upgrades. Again, Bunny, he shouldn't be able to break out until he gets his upgrades. So until then, he is contained on 2 bases. And Zoun, he is free to just saturate, get his third base up running, go to charge, upgrades, 1-1 is on the way. This will lead typically into Colossus. Now Zoun is being a little bit greedier this time by going double forge. Zoun is going to be forced back, at least for now. And Bunny can now freely expand. Take his third base. Oh. Zoun does catch a couple of Marines. Picks up some of the bio. Bunny committing. Yo, we got drilling claws behind this. Let's go. Drilling claws on the way. And Zoun, he's ready for this. His charge, safety immortals, 1-1 will finish on time for this push. And Bunny, he doesn't commit. Thankfully. Doesn't commit, does pull away. Zoun, he was more than ready for it. Bunny, he retreats, he will fortify his bases. Settle into his 3 bases. Likewise, Zoun also takes the 4th. His 4th base up and running. Now, I had assumed that by this point we would see a bay on the way, but this might also be because of the double forge. So Zoun, he is mixing it up. We did emphasize earlier that the second forge was a little bit more unorthodox from Zoun. So double forge means fast 2-2, and as you can see, he has still not gotten any splash damage. He's heavily reliant on more zealots, and he's continuing immortal production. So continuing immortals into mass zealots. To me, this tells me that Zoun expects Bunny to push, and this setup is designed to shut down aggression. But as we can see, Bunny doesn't push. Bunny, he gains map control, takes over the Zonaga, and pulls away, which means Zoun, I would say, is in a bit of a awkward position. I was gonna say worst position just because the Colossus production is delayed, and now he's getting into it. Now he realizes that he's safe to do so. So on the one hand, that is true. Colossus is going to be later than normal for Zoun, but at the same time, the upgrades will benefit him quite heavily here just because of the 2-2 timing, and into 3-3, of course. So the upgrades going to be looking quite good here for Zoun. Downside is how delayed the Colossus are. Zoun, he does dive in. Catching at the Medivacs, gets 1, gets 2, and again, Bunny, he cannot fight this. He cannot fight this head on. Not like this. Has to pull away. And Zoun, he might just keep going. But now pulls back. Does spot the reinforcements, wants none of it. Prism has finally arrived. It's going to be reinforcing on the front lines. And there is that one tank. And Zoun, he dives in. Mine shall take punish. Tanks do go down, going for the Raven as well. Nice SimCity, very nice choke point here by Bunny. Bunny pulls back to the choke point. Zoun, he can't quite chase him. But there's still some nice trades here from Zoun. Trading up mainly minerals, but he did take some mine shells to the Stalkers. True. Got a tank, Raven, flanking. 2 Medivacs. First Colossus is out. Second Colossus on the way. And Zoun does delay the CC. Boys being pulled into Zealots. Losing 5 SCVs. And again, Zoun just flirting with the army. Catching out more workers. As there comes the second Colossus. From here, we should be getting into disruptors. The lack of disruptors is also still concerning. For now, Bunny is contained. As the CC just being chased back. Oh! Avoids the mine shots. Avoids the connections. 3-3 now on the horizon here for Zoun. And these upgrades, they're just so fast here for our Protoss. Rushing into those 3-3. Like Rezani rotates. Bunny, I mean, he is behind. He's trying to expand to get in the gold base. That will help. If he can hold on to it. Down where we headed. Does hit the top side. Takes out the depots. Does create an opening. Once again, takes down the center tower, just making it more difficult here for Bunny to keep up. Second robo's on the way. 0 disruptors so far. Zoun is maxed out. He's maxed out with how many zealots? 39. Jeez. 39 zealots. That's a lot of charge lots. As they move in, they catch out the observer. Bunny going for the stim. And Bunny's going to be so heavily reliant on these EMPs. He needs to EMP those charge lots. Even then, it's not going to be easy. Not against 3-3. Stargate's on the way. This should be for Skytos. Getting ready for a fleet beacon into Tempest production. He does maintain his gold. Now going for another expansion. Now likewise still also looking for an opening. It's a kill mode to cancel on the CC. Fusion core now on the way for Bunny. That should be for Liberators. You could definitely argue this is a little bit late. Bunny has a bank. Just now working towards liberation. Base gets spotted. Zoun, he responds to it. So massive rotation out of Zoun. Bunny getting in position. Zoun is going for that expansion. We have some decent SimCity here. Likewise, Bunny's ready for it. It's off one EMP so far. We spoke with the Tempest, there it is. Fleet Beacon, 2 more Stargates, triple Stargate production. Working towards those Tempest. Ideally, he's down, he does want to trade. As he's got, what, 4k minerals in the bank? Jeez. Like, he needs to trade these Zealots so he can just keep reinforcing. Let's stay punish. Get a Colossus. Not bad. Colossus goes down for 7 SCVs. They'll run by is ready. But Bunny, he is just fortifying himself and looking very secure on 4 bases. I say 4, get him to 5. It's a really secure setup. He's also trying to collapse in. Going for the ghosts. And they will get a handful of them. Ghosts are getting picked off. Nicely done. Takes down a couple of ghosts. A couple of Vikings get sniped. Again, Zoun's still just posturing. Tempest production has begun. So this Tempest. And Bunny, he has been defending the entire time, but soon he should be able to break out. Like, he's just waiting for his upgrades. Now he has some Liberators as well. And Northern base or Northern Army gets caught out. Does reset the Colossus count, not bad. Takes down all the Colossi. Trying to fight within range of those Liberation Zones. Bunny stims in. Does Tim, takes down the Zealots. Once again, EMP. Oh, doesn't quite connect. Not yet. There we go, EMPs, they shut down the Zealots. And Bunny does outtrade. Tempest, they will help support. But Zoun just now getting to Disruptors. His army is quite lacking. Going for the Vikings. Oof. Brings them down. They can shut down those Liberators as well. Zoun does make a stand, but last Zoun, he is lacking gases. He needs more gas income. He has 2,000 minerals, but again, the gas is lacking. Zoun still trying to remax. You're warping in 9 Zealots at a time. Let's go. Oh, the chargelets. Again, Bunny just taking a very slow approach to this. He has not pushed this entire game. If I recall correctly, I don't think he's ever actually threatened the bases of Zoun. Outside of the mine drop at the start of the game. True. Outside of the mine drop. Mine shots. More sensor towers, turrets, widow mines, liberation. Just very turtle style. Nice Novas. Gets one connection. Now against this more defensive style, that's where Tempest can really thrive. As long as they avoid those Vikings. There we go, a couple of Vikings going down, getting 3 Vikings. Nice pickoffs. Oh, force a recall. Does force a recall. Now still moving in. Once again, denying mining. Oh, a bit of a miss rally. Yes, down he overextends. He move commands in. Losing almost every single Tempest. Yeah, the Tempest, they go down. Massive pickoffs. That should not have happened. Just an unfortunate move command there from Zoun. It was either a move command or he had targeted like a medevac that boosted back or something. Just a really awkward setup there from Zoun. And like he was building up quite hard and quite heavily there towards those Tempest. Now stuck without them. Behind the mineral line. Bonnie is popping off. Resets the Sky Toss. Gets 5 probe kills. Likewise, Liberation, they deny mining. Zoun just having a hard time here. Making a Void Ray. I mean, I guess that helps a little bit. Design to hunt down those Liberators. Meanwhile, drop takes down the Nexus. Massive pickup. Gets the expansion. Zoun expanding bottom right. Void Ray has arrived. Oh, jeez. Libs, they do win the fight. Oh, as one of them goes down. Gee, there's just so many central towers here. All the Venn diagrams. And Zoun is in a rough position. Like, ideally, in this kind of siege setup, you do want more Tempest, but alas, it lost every single one. It's so difficult to kind of make use of this more mobile composition where you have to like rotate back and forth and hit an expansion, hit another base. this is very similar to how you would approach this matchup, ZVT, like Ling Bane Hydra, where you want to rotate and knock down planetary after planetary. If you don't, your opponent just outtrades you with just more efficient army.
Money does try to bait the army in. Liberation popping up. Oh my god, that's a lot of freedom. That's a lot of liberation zones. They punish the Stalkers. Tempest now being rebuilt. Again, the best answer against what Bunny has is going to be Tempest, but alas, you have to take care of them. Can't just throw them away. Moving in. Moving in, more liberation here on the right hand side. Oh. Bunny just being so careful with how he engages. No major commitments here from Bunny. Aside from the drop on the right, going for the another expansion. And looks like he will get it. Bunny takes down top left and bottom right. Not bad. Takes down both fringe bases. It's very slow, methodical play. Tempest, they respond. Oh, nice EMP. Bunny has to respect the Tempest. Has to pull back. Save them out of the base. Zoun still looking for an opening. Again, it's one of those things where Zoun still has a very low tech army. So I'm not too confident, but he does catch a couple of Vikings. Gets a couple of key pickoffs here and there. The lack of gas is still concerning. Getting there. Still getting there, picking up a couple of turrets. Zoun once again pulling away. But I will say is that Zoun has not been passive. Like at every turn he's looking for a way in, looking for any kind of pickoffs. Like here, getting a Liberator. Not the cleanest trade, but that gets a Liberator nonetheless. Scan reveals the expansion. Bunny's gonna knock it down. Tempest got a couple of free shots off. Likewise, there is an opening. Bunny out of position. Yeah, Liberators are going down. Novas, they pop off. Oh, they do connect. And Zoun, he does break through. He will bleed out all of those Tempest, so the place goes down. Planetary falls. And Bunny just completely out of position here. The base does crumble. 18 SCV kills. And Zoun is going to keep pushing. Again, unfortunately, Bunny, he had invested too heavily here towards the south side. He wasn't ready for the committed move out, getting another CC. Two bases going down, recalls back home, defends against a push. And Zoun, he's all over this. It's all over the army. Bunny down to what, 2 bases, or really 1.5. And honestly, Bunny, he was playing this well. He was playing this well up until those final moments where he did overcommit towards rotating towards the south side. We saw that Zoun, he found an opening. Took him a long time, but he found it. And once he found it, bam, 2 bases killed. Planetary and the 3rd base. That's how he rotates once again. And he can push into this position. There's no liberation, there's no freedom.
Without any liberation zones here, I mean, we can't commit in. Oh my god, that's a brutal connection. The choke point. Working against Bunny. Does work against him. So he has some fresh liberators moving in. Top left is denied. Zoun double expanding, going for bottom right. Zoun does pull down. So he rotates. This time liberators are ready. And again, Zanny does want to ape in. Now going into carrier. I'm not too fond of the idea of going into carriers instead of Tempest, but okay, we'll see how he does. We'll see how they work. As they are less efficient. They also have less range. Meanwhile, recoil here towards the right hand side. Zoun moving in. Just catch 2 more libs. Armies are still maxed, but again, Bunny doesn't really have a bank. It's all or nothing. That's a lot of liberation. Oh my god. That's 16 liberators. The base goes down. Zanny can't engage into all those liberation zones. He has to rotate. He has to pull away. He could try and go for the gold. Oh. Does go behind the army. Okay. Does come in from behind. Catching out some of the liberators. Nervous they don't quite connect. Uh-oh. Now pulling away. Does pull away. Once again can rotate to the center base. Bunny takes a fresh mining base on the right hand side. But can he saturate? Can he hold on to it? So the problem at this point here is that Bunny is spreading himself thin. Spreading himself more thin. I'm pushing in, he commits into liberation. Gets 1, 2, 3, up to 4, up to 5, up to all 6 liberators. Takes them all down. The Colossus are going to be targeted, but at the same time, Zeltay busts into the mineral line. SCVs are going down, bases as well. And really, that's what matters. That was 2 carriers falling. There's what, 3 carriers left. It should be enough. Should be enough to keep on pushing. As Bunny's being forced further and further back. Zoun still has a massive bank. Planetary goes down. Massive pickup. Forces they catch one of the Colossus. Not bad. Gets a Colossus, but there's just nothing left. There's nothing left here from Bunny. Bunny, he's down to half a base. Down to 10 SCVs. Coping a little bit, Pappy, a little bit. 10 SCVs remaining. As it's another 21 going down, and then to 9 SCVs. Again, Bunny, he has no bank, he has no gas, he has nothing. He has an army, true, but GG gets called, and Zoun, he will take game number 1. Whew, GG. Zoun does take lead in the series. Again, Bunny, he was honestly looking quite impressive here. He was holding his own. He was minimizing losses. And he was also sniping bases. If you remember, he took down top left and bottom right. But when everything swung in favor of Zoun was when Bunny did overreact. He did rotate too hard to the south side. He created an opening, and that's when Bunny was abused. When Zoun was able to just take advantage of that. Took down 2 bases, one after the other. And was able to just pull Bunny apart. GG. GG, well played. Game 2, though, is going to be on Frostline. Going to be loading into a larger map. This map is large, that is true, but unlike Amygdala, it is less defendable. I would say that Amygdala is the most defensive map in the current in the current tournament map pool. So now we open up. It's catching up in the chat. Esteponio. Tal. Here we go. Oh, there was someone crying in the chat. Oh no. They were crying. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Frostline, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Blue Protoss. Leading the series 1-0. Again, able to. It was a very long, very intense. It was a 30-minute game for game one. But so I was just catching up with the chat. Does take a lead in the series, and we'll see if he can extend that lead. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Red Terran player, the Red Terran from South Korea. Down in the series, we'll see if he can recover, bounce back, and make a series out of this. For Team Falcons, it is Bunny. Here we go. We go. So now we are going to be settling in, and welcome one more to Frostline. So again, Frostline is a very different map of the map pool. It's very polarizing as well. It is a large map, that is true. It's a very large map, but unlike Amygdala, what we just saw, it is less defendable. So bear that in mind. What we saw on Amygdala is something that we will only most likely see on Amygdala in this series, as the other large maps are more open here. As you can see, when it comes to this triangular third base or the linear third base as well, the base count is a little bit high here on this map, that is true, but again, the openings are just huge. When it comes to the large ramp on the left, when it comes to the large ramp towards the top side, so you can get a big concave here on this expansion. Likewise, same can be said here towards the southern base, and we even have a big opening here in between the bases, in between the third, fourth, and natural base. So again, it is much more difficult to be the defensive player. It is much more difficult to turtle on Frostline. Much more difficult. So Bunny will most likely take a different approach, and we'll see what he goes for. For now, economic opener, Rax expand, does go for an economic start. Meanwhile, Zoun going for his own standard opener as well. Here we go. As, we do open a little bit differently. We do go for a Stargate opener. Let's go. Stargate play here by Zoun. Interesting setup. Now we do see Stargate play from time to time, but we often see it on larger maps instead, on maps like Amygdala or King's Cove or Neo Violet Square. Here on Frostline, I would say is it a little bit riskier to go for this, just because you are more vulnerable on this map than other maps. But I appreciate that Zoun is mixing it up. Again, we did not see Stargate play at all against Cure. We never saw it against Cure, but we're seeing it here against Bunny. So I appreciate that Zoun, he's showing that he has some diverse play available to him. He's not kind of like a one-trick pony, or he's not completely one note. Doesn't have to play 3-gate plank every game. So I do appreciate it here from Zoun. Does open Phoenixes. Meanwhile, we do see Bunny is going to be going for his mine drop once again, opening up with his Widow Mines, 4 Widow Mines in total, into a drop across the map. Now we'll see if Zoun can cash the drop ahead of time, as he will have the tools to defend, but we'll see if he's in position. So here we go. Bunny does move out. Bunny does boost across. Zoun behind this and building up, getting to his own robo. And this is the same opener that we saw last game out of Bunny. Trying to create an opening. Medevac is going to be hunted down. Oh, nice lift. Does lift 1, lifts 2, lifts 3, lifts 4. Oh my god, there's one shot goes off. A bit of a misclick there from Zoun. And that's going to be 5 probe kills. That's a lot of damage, getting up to 6. Damage is dealt. Bunny, he does escape with the medevac. Again, if you did miss that, Zoun, he lifted a probe. He lifted a probe instead of the final Widowmine, so 5 workers did fall to 1 shot. Alongside the Hellions, of course. And now it's time to counterattack. Zoun, he does break out across the map. Back at home, Bunny, he is getting in position. He's building up, getting to stim. Cyclone has arrived. Viking is out. Should be okay. He has enough. He has enough to deflect. Behind this, Zoun going from Phoenix's not into charge, but a more old school composition going into Phoenix into Colossus. Okay, Bay is on the way for Colossus production. This is very old school. This is very out of meta nowadays, just because the players have been getting better and better at punishing this. As I mentioned before, though, this kind of build, this kind of playstyle is more ideal on these larger maps, assuming that Bunny doesn't move out too aggressively early on. As we can see for now, Bunny is being more defensive. He's getting to stim, combat shields, focusing on his bio, but going for early drops. Okay, does move out. Does move out. Sound picks in. 3 more SCVs. He's looking for damage. Does get into the main. Yeah, that's Bunny out of position. Getting 3, 4, 5 SCV kills. Very nice damage. Bunny, he just ignores this. Oh my god, he just sends it. He just sends it across the map. He forces the recall. It's all or nothing. Bunny trying to go for the kill. There is 1 Colossus at home to defend, and that may just be enough. I was about to say there is an opening. There is an opportunity here for Bunny to end the game, but the Colossus has arrived. Drop into the main base, not bad. Oh, punching the Phoenixes. Green's going to be going down. Phoenixes, they need support. And here come the Adepts. Adepts, they do poke in. At the same time, Bunny, he does go for the dive. Colossus is in position. He stims into the mineral line. And he's going for the Colossus. Oh, can he get it? Oh my god, he barely will not. Gets one though. 1 Colossus still goes down. Nice pickup. Zoun will hold on, but at a cost. At a cost of 12 probes. Ay, ay, ay. 12 workers go down. Again, Zoun, he doesn't really have much support for the army. And we did speak about it actually just before this push. Hafiz Colossus is very out of meta because players have gone so good at punishing, and Bunny, he has been punishing. He hasn't killed Zoun yet. He's close though. He's close to bringing him down. Close to bringing him to his knees. Dropping back into the main. Phoenixes are somewhat in position. This Bunny is not stopping. And again, you can see the stark contrast between this game and the last, where on Amygdala, Bunny was hyper defensive. But here, Bunny, he's not slowing down. He's still rallying across the map. You can see that again, because he knows his opponent is vulnerable, he knows he's so close to breaking Zoun. Zoun will catch a medevac. Widowmine bar in. Oh. Shantae pop off. Zoun still barely has any kind of buffer here for the Colossus. Still barely. Rotating, going for a double drop into the main. Phoenixes, they do rotate, they keep up. Oh! They catch a full medevac. Very nicely done. Takes out 1 medevac. Going for another. Bunny look for an opening, but again, Bunny is taking too long. Zoun now is up to 3 Colossus. Gateway explosions on the way. The longer this goes on, I mean, Zoun, he's becoming much more secure. And while Bunny expands, he will be losing these SCVs. As Elsa hit the third base, Bunny turns everything back around. And Zoun holds. Zoun, he holds, he survives. Bunny's still looking for the Zealots. Does find them. And the charge lots. Likewise, Zoun going to be switching up into not disruptors, this time into Storm. Okay. Black guys on the way. Alas, is not going to be ready for this. Getting ready for his own push. He's moving in. Does move in. Zoun out of position. The base is under fire. Yeah, Zoun, he did miss the army. Did just barely miss it. Bunny not quite able to go for the expansion though. Pulling away. No storm yet. Zoun tries to commit in. Oh, brutal mind connection. The base still goes down. Very nice big up here from Bunny. Takes down the expansion, takes down the Nexus. Going for the mineral line. Getting another 6 probes as they fail to transfer away. They barely don't make it out. And Zoun is supply blocked. Oh, ay, ay, ay. 3 pylons being thrown down. Heavy supply block here for Zoun. And again, the aggression this time for Bunny is a lot more successful. Again, last game he barely was able to move out. This time he's just all over Zoun. He's all over him. Ah. Is that the white shot? Out the mine, disruptor production has begun. If you recall, I'd assumed it was going to be Storm with the Temple Archives, but that is not the case. Storm was never researched. Just a couple of Archons instead. So you're recalling on the right side. Just recall in time. Still tense. And once again, Bunny being punished for his aggression because he's just continuing to rally everything across the map. 11 more CV kills. More kills. Bunny's still looking for another opening. But as the game does progress, now we do see Zoun just getting into more and more disruptors. Sorry from Bunny having a little bit less longevity in this game. He's got so many Vikings. Jesus. He's got how many? 13! 13 Vikings. Let's go. Bunny's still looking for a way in. Disruptors, they have arrived. Shows those Novas. Nova goes off. Gets a Marine. Let's get a Marine so far. Nova just zones away. No major connections. As you can see, the roles have been reversed. Bunny's still playing with fire. Does 9 expansion though. It's a nice Nexus. Oh. So again, Zoun punishing. Punish. Zoun likewise rising over. It does catch the main army. Zoun trying to expand, going for the northern base. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. The 5th base denied time and time again. We're in a really weird position here where Zoun, he's being denied the 5th over and over again. True, that is true. Bunny, he has not expanded. Despite having map control, and he's had map control for I want to say like the past 6 minutes. Bunny does not take a 4th base, even though he totally could. Like, Bunny's keeping Zoun pinned, and we ideally would need another expansion to keep this going. What I'm getting at, because there's no 4th base, it means that Zoun not getting a 5th isn't the biggest of deals. It could be worse. It is rough to see that he can't expand, that is true, but Bunny likewise doesn't have a 4th base either. You know, does him in. There it goes up. Does graze the army. Last 13 pros going down. Zoun completely out of position. Base goes down. Likewise drops on the main base. It's going to be cleaned up. Zoun is hurting. Collapsing in. Oof. Colossus almost goes down. Yeah, 13 pros is brutal. Zoun, he's supply blocked. Vikings do overextend. A lot of Vikings go down. That was how many? That was 6 Vikings falling. Now we're gonna punish Bunny. It does punish. Still being active. I'm very impressed that the Colossus survived this. Meanwhile, recall was just used. Oh, never mind. Recall is available. Does survive. Still run back coming in. There's still no 4CC. I think there's still no 4CC. Bunny has the money for it. Ay. Like, Bunny, he's on 35 SCVs. Like, he's pretty all in. Which is crazy to think about. What is happening? He's on 5 Raxes. He's not even 8 Raxing, for example. Like, what's... We are tunnel visioning so hard right now. I'm just caught off guard. As it doesn't really happen. Zani dives in, catches reinforcements. And the Bio Army goes down. Nice splits here against the Novus. Very nice splits. Despite that, the Vikings able to fall. The Colossus, they refuse to go down. They refuse. And Bunny, he's broke. Again, Bunny, he never rebuilt his SCVs, never made another expansion. Bunny had map control for so long, but I'll be honest, he didn't really do much with it. Oh god, Novas are connecting, and Zoun, he's done it. He has done it. He has broken the back of Bunny. This is Bunny's last ride. He's heavily overstimmed. GG gets called, and Zoun, he will weather the storm. He will survive the aggression, and he will take a 2-0 lead. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, that was a very awkward, very weird game just because Bunny, he was in a good position. Remember, Bunny, he was rotating, he was denying the expansion time and time again. He was finding some damage, he was getting into mineral lines. Like, Bunny, he was achieving quite a lot with his army, with his aggression, but he had no longevity in that game. Like, he was forcing himself all in, even though he wasn't set up for an all-in. Like, he was only on 5 Raxes. Like, he wasn't, like, that was not the setup for an all-in out of Bunny. He was forced into it just because he had no economy, and just because, again, he just had no setup further than that. But yeah, it did seem like Bunny was maybe tunnel visioning a little bit too much. I don't think it was his intention to be in that position, to be forced into an all-in. GG, well played. With that, Zoun takes a 2-0 lead, and now we're getting ready for game number 3. Let's go. Let's go. As we are loading into Ultra Love. Here we go. Tempest of versus Terran because of Vikings. That is not the case. Tempests usually are superior against Terran. Usually you do have support. It's very similar to, I guess, ZVP even as well. Usually you have support to help facilitate for those Tempests, as we saw in game 1. But now here we go, we're getting into game number 3. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ultra Love, leading the series 2-0, we have the South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing his new team, Team Vitality. It is Zoun. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing his team, Team Falcons, down in the series. We'll see if he can bounce back. We'll see if he can recover. It is Bunny. Here we go. As we are moving out. And again, Bunny, again, like I want to praise Bunny for the last game just because he was achieving a lot with his army, right? He was sniping bases, he was getting into mineral lines, he was pulling Zoun apart. That is all true. The problem is that the longer the game went on, it was getting worse and worse for Bunny. Like Bunny, he just never expanded. He never expanded, never had the setup for the expansion. He also, it wasn't just that he wasn't expanding, but he wasn't replacing the SCVs that he was losing. Every now and then he would lose a couple of workers to a Zealot run by. Nothing major, but he would lose like, 2, 3 SCVs here and there. And because he wasn't rebuilding his workers, I mean, it did just add up over time. So Bunny, he ran out of steam. And with that, we have a 2-0 advantage for Zoun. And this could just be a straight up 3-0. One more game is all he needs. Una más, papi, una más. We go. So now we are going to be settling in. To have Bunny going for his own economic opener, so Rax expand into a delayed factory. Likewise, Zoun, he did mix it up already, so I also appreciate that from the last game. As a reminder, Zoun did open up Stargate into Phoenixes, into Phoenix Colossus, which he was struggling to get away with. He was bleeding out a lot of units early on. But this time, Twilight Council. Twilight Council instead. As that does get behind the mineral line, will delay the CC. Not bad. Delays the command center, slows Bunny down. So that does shade into the main, delaying the starport, not bad. Takes down the SCV, delays the starport, gets a full scout of the main. As another jet does arrive, once again denying any kind of economy here at that natural for as long as possible. Finally, Bunny, he can mine. So far, Zoun having a great job here in the early game, just disrupting the opener of his opponent. So far, we are going to be setting up. We do have, once again, Blink, 3-gate setup, 3-gate Blink into a 3rd expansion. So Zoun going back to what he does best. We saw this in game 1, we saw this against Cure. Likewise, we do expect Zoun to skip his War Prism and to focus on his charge and +1 follow-up. Now, we did see a quirky build on Amygdala where Zoun did go for a double forge into really fast double upgrades. I don't expect that on Ultra Love. I should also emphasize, welcome one and all to Ultra Love. Ultra Love is one of the smaller maps of the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground. You can be very aggressive and very assertive on this map. At the same time, though, there are certain defensive features here at the 3rd and 4th bases when it comes to choke points, when it comes to knocking down these towers. So we could see a player be hyper defensive. We have seen some split map scenarios here on Ultra Love just because of the terrain. Specifically, we have a lot of narrow bridges in the center. We have some points of elevation, some ramps and some choke points here towards the top and right hand side as well. Because of that, if you're able to keep up with the rotations of your opponent, then your opponent shouldn't be able to break through, shouldn't be able to get to your bases essentially. But that's usually how things turn out in the late game. We'll see if we get there. For now, we do see Zoun getting his 3rd base, charge, forge, +1. As I mentioned, standard follow-up. Standard follow-up here from Zoun. Nothing crazy yet. Is going to be the mind job opener here from Bunny. Bunny does boost in. But might as well borrow. Zoun, he does react in time. Oh, pulls away. Leaves out 2 probes. Army blinks in, and the medevac, it looks like, okay, escape. One more volley. Oof, medevac does not escape. Massive pickoff. Medevac goes down. Widow Mines do fall. It's 2 Widow Mines and a medevac getting sniped here. And Zoun defends. Zoun, he holds, he defends. Likewise, Bunny getting his own 3-1-1 setup. Still no Warp Prism, so still no aggression out of Zoun. Just containing. Just hoping to contain. As Bunny's breaking out. This is a bit of an earlier push. Stim just finished. Trying to catch out those stalkers. Behind this, just rallying across the map. He should be expanding on location. Should be setting up for his expansion. This Bunny is pushing. Does move out. And he's just going for the all-in. I was like, he should be expanding. He should be. He doesn't. He doesn't expand. He pulls the boys instead. 2-base all in here from Bunny. It's all or nothing. One way or another, he either kills Zoun or he dies trying. Now Zoun, he does not spot this ahead of time. Until now. Now he knows. Now he sees. Ooh, Zealous, they get picked off. Where are the force fields? But you need them. Yeah, boys are coming in. Their force fields on the ramp. Does barely force field in time. Whew. But Last Immortal does get caught. So far, Zoun making a stand. It takes down the SCV. That's going to be 15 SCV kills. Tank stays siege up behind this. Zoun has to pull away. And does he have one more warp in? So far, decent pickoffs. Boys are being pulled. Zealots are coming from behind. And they don't force friendly fire. And tanks, they survive. More Zealots trickling in. Bunny still cleans us up, still maintains the position. And still going for the kill. As Bunny, he has run out of gas, he's run out of workers. Plus 22 SCVs. Stims in, he will lose all of his tanks. Boys are being pulled. Hands down, he's barely holding on here. I say that, where are the Zealots? Where are the charged lots? Oh. Face off a medevac. But Bunny, he might just have too much. Yeah, just barely too much here again. Zoun, he had no idea what was going on until it was too late. And Zoun just losing Stalker after Stalker. More Zealots trickling in. Still very close. Get some Marauder. Stalkers, they do barely get away. To get away when another Stalker goes down. Another Stalker as well, down to 3. 3 Stalkers left. And Bunny, he should be able to overwhelm this. Like, 3 Stalkers is not enough to defend against this wave of army. Against a man with gun. He's got 1 Marauder. He's got 2. 2 Marauders left. Zoun likewise barely in economy. He's oversaturating the main base. So, income is limited. I'm trying to buy time. Face of Marine here and there. Doesn't quite get the Widow Mines. Oof, yeah, brutal connections. Shots going off. The boys have arrived once again. The boys are back. They have returned. And Zoun is down to 1 Stalker. 1 Stalker remaining. Bunny has done it. He has done it. He's going to make a series out of this. GG gets called. Bunny, he breaks down, and we are going to game number 4. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Again, Zoun, unfortunately, he did not see the army until it was already on his half of the map. So a late scout out of Zoun is going to be punished for it, and Bunny snowballs into a win. GG. GG, well played, and that leads us here into our next game. Leads us here into game number 4. Meanwhile, it looks like our players, they need a moment here. So I mean, it has been a very intense series, especially after game one. Like, game one was a very long game one, so it looks like our players, they need a moment to catch their breath. Understandable. Oh. So we are getting into game number 2. Sorry, number 2. Game 4. Getting into game 4. And again, we'll see if Bunny can force the ace match or if Zoun will maintain his lead and take the series. Let's go. Still very close, still very tense. Our next game is going to be on Killer Smile. Not to be confused with Killer Smile. Totally different. Totally different. Aye, aye, aye. Oh. Get some sleep like you're an animal. No, no, the night is still young, Pappy, still young. Got plenty more casting to do. Of course, this is our second broadcast of the day. We were live earlier this morning with the Biggest Store Monday, and we're going to be live tomorrow morning with the Code for Giants Cup. Code for Giants Cup. We also have, do we have the podcast tomorrow? Hold on. Let's see. There's going to be a lot to discuss. Yes, the podcast is also tomorrow as well. True, true. Punchcast. It looks like our players are back. We're jumping in. We've been awake and casting since Text Watch March 2020. True, true. It's been 5 years. Let's go. Not like this. As morning in the bottom left-hand corner of Killer's Mile, we have our South Korean Protoss player, the Red Protoss, leading the series 2-1, one game away from claiming the entire series and advancing on into the playoffs. It is Zoun. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Falcons. Fighting back, putting a point on the board. Can he keep going? Can he force the ace match? It is Bunny. The more live VIP, the better, I say. Rowdy. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? It's good to see you. Always good to see you. Rowdy. Ay, ay, ay. Yes, welcome back here to Game 4. Again, the pressure is on. Bunny did find a little bit more success here in the last game when it came to the early game aggression. Again, I'm not too opposed to him slowing the game down. Like, I'm still bringing it back to Amygdala. I do think that Bunny was in a better position in Amygdala. Unfortunately, he did just slip up when it came to his own rotations and when it came to keeping up with the army movements of his opponents. But outside of that, Bunny, he was looking quite in form in game number 1. But alas, now we move on from that. We're now loading into Killer's Mile. We did speak earlier how aggressive you can be on this map, and we saw Zoun being quite successful with that aggression against Cure, as Zoun was able to rotate between the bases and break Cure and pull him apart. We'll see how Bunny will approach this instead. When there are no tournaments on, Light uses miniatures to reenact StarCraft games. He's addicted. Oh no. See, the problem is that there's always tournaments on though. That's the problem. There's always StarCraft. Oh no. Not like this. Unironic. So much StarCraft. Here we go. Building up. Getting to our next game. Likewise, Fire Counter opener here out of Zoun. Did play Stargate that one game on Frostline, but only on Frostline. Outside of that, Twilight Council openers. Into 3K Blink. Into Charge, into +1, into our standard setup. Meanwhile, Bunny, we'll see how he does mix things up. So far, Adept does get into the mineral line, will delay the CC. Nicely done. We'll disrupt the economy here of Bunny. I am looking forward to Bedge though, unironically. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be amazing. Then I can dream about casting StarCraft. Oh no. That has happened. Pretty sure I've casted, gone to bed, dreamt about casting, woken up, and then casted some more. Like, that's that has happened. Ah no. The casting never ends. Year 2060. StarCraft moves underground and now an illegal form of flesh. Calm down, Rowdy. Calm down. Lad scours the dystopian cavern, scratching his arm for that quick casting fix. Oh no. Oh no. I'm an animal, Pappy. I'm an animal. God damn it, Rowdy. As Bunny, he does peel off with his Hellions, and as the Hellions get cleaned up, so this time there won't be multi-running aggression. The Mind Drop is coming in, 2 Mines here in towards that natural, does boost forward, but Zoun, he cannot focus his entirety of his defenses here on that drop. Blinks in, shuts it down, Widowmine will burrow, he gets one. It's 1 probe kill, and the Medevac has to get the hell out of here. Doubles back. Oh. Does attempt to double back. Zoun trying to hunt down that medevac. Back at home, Bunny still building up once again. Now, I wouldn't be opposed to Bunny going for a 2-base all-in here on Killer's Mile, but the problem is that he just went for one. I don't really see that being too successful multiple times in a series, especially back-to-back. Oh, hello, as Zoun, he does mix it up a little bit here. Okay, I had assumed that it was going to be Blink into Charge and +1, and there is Charge, but there's no Forge. Instead of a Forge, we're going for an earlier Temple Archives. This should be for a really fast Storm. Should be. Okay, you have my attention. Zoun takes the 3rd base. Back at home, Bunny just getting into his own bio. Light starts each day with a big bowl of Castios. Did I come out of the wrong timeline? No. Not like this. Where are the dystopian StarCraft caverns? As you mentioned, Storm is being prioritized. Now, this does look like an all-in. What I'm getting at is that we are hyper-fixated on rushing into Storm. We have a massive gateway explosion getting up to 8 gates, and we have no Forge, no upgrades, no kind of setup for any kind of longevity here. The longer this goes on, if we don't see a Forge, if we don't see any further tech, then this most likely is going to be an all-in with a Storm timing across the map. So hyper aggression here from Zoun. We actually saw this yesterday. If you were watching the Water TV Monday between Clem and MaxPax, Clem, he went for this build against, sorry, MaxPax went for this build against Clem. Didn't quite work at Clem. He had a very impressive defense, even though he didn't scout it. He had no idea what was coming. And Clem, he even took some big storms to the face, as he always does, but he still weathered the storm. Anyway, it was crazy. It was impressive. So we'll see how Bunny does look against Zoun's move out. As he's getting ready, he's banking up energy as we speak. He's got 3-eyed Templar in the Prism. Scan reveals the Archon. It's a big moment here for Bunny. He knows. Catching out the Stalkers. Very nice drop. As Stalkers, they go down. Pro's going to be falling as well. Yeah, rough defense here from Zoun. And Bunny, he's not stopping. He's moving in through the center. The Storm! Storm pops. Oh my god, the Storm pops up. Oh, Jesus. Storms, they shut down the bio. But a panic 3rd Storm there from Zoun. Bunny's still moving in. Still pushing forward. And Zoun getting ready for a surround. trying to break out, taking my shot to the face. Hands down, he won't break out here. Yeah, there's just too much of a concave. The Bio Army stims in. Tank volley's going off. And Bunny's done it. Bunny, he has done it. He has broken down. Again, did need the storms to be a little bit better there. Likewise, the Stalkers got called out earlier. And Bunny, he does it. He breaks through. GG gets called. He breaks the natural. And Bunny will force the ace match. GG. Whew. Oh my god. GG, well played. Again, Bunny does snowball out of control. Very successful drop into the natural base, just catching Zoun off guard, pulling him apart, and Zoun, he just was completely unprepared for the push right down mid. He was working towards his own storm timing, that is true, but he was not as paying attention to what Bunny was up to. With that, GG. GG, well played. We're now getting into the final game of the series. We're getting into the ace match. Let's go. Bunny's super good, but plays inconsistently. Yeah, kind of. I mean, I would say that Bunny, his TvZ is pretty consistent. He's very aggressive. He's very aggressive against Zerg, and he's very successful with that aggression as well. Here so far in this series, he's been looking solid as well. I would say the only game in the series that was kind of shaky from Bunny was Frostline. We don't have to talk about Frostline, but like the Frostline game was really odd. Was a really odd one. But outside of that, here we go. Here we go. We're getting into the final game of the series. We're going to be loading into Sandworm. And based on the success that our Terran player has had so far in this series, we'll see if he once again goes for another 2-base all-in or another 2-base aggression. He's been quite successful with that so far. We'll see what he goes for. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Sandworm, we have our South Korean Terran player, the Blue Terran, representing Team Falcons. It is Bunny. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the red Protoss player, also from South Korea, representing Team Vitality. It is Zoun. We go. And welcome on to Sandworm. Sandworm is an interesting map to say the least. It's a new TLMC map, of course. The rush distance by ground is short, so short rush distance by ground, but the terrain itself does actually favor defensive play, especially at the goal base. There's so much terrain, there are these spikes or the Dragon's Teeth in the center that do kind of allow this center location to be a little bit safer, and we have seen many a player rush into this goal base as a third or as a fourth and maintain that gold as well. So we'll see if either one does try to rush into that. See who goes for the gold. But likewise, because it's so defendable here, you're able to, and because there are so many choke points and ramps as well, we actually have seen a lot of late game on this map, like a lot of mid to late game on Sandworm. Bunny has been very aggressive these past couple of games, but that may change here. We'll see. But now Bunny does get a CC on location, was delayed by a second or two. Let's get the CC. Yeah, for sure, for sure. The thing about Bunny is that it can be, especially at the start of the year, it was very difficult to get a read on Bunny's level because Bunny took a break. For those who don't know, Bunny, he post EWC, Bunny, he was gone for like 4 months. He didn't play in anything, and Bunny, he started competing again. I want to say either December or January. Like there was a big break. There was a big break from Bunny. I remember I was really concerned because post EWC, because he wasn't playing in anything for so long, I was concerned that he had silently retired. I was scared because I'm a big Bunny fan, so I was concerned that he had silently retired. But no, he came back kind of like middle of December, something like that. Came back in December, and yeah, he's been looking very strong. He's been a lot more active when it comes to the tournament scene as well. A lot more active. Like, he's more active than Gumiho, for example. So he is moving out. So we are settling in. So far, once again, mind drop here at a bunny. And we'll try to do a better job here at keeping an eye on his setup, on his follow, I should emphasize. Just because both games so far, Bunny's been hyper aggressive here on 2 bases. And of course, been quite successful with it. Very successful. So now building up, getting into his own blink. So 3-gate blink out of Zoun. Last game, Zoun did try to rush into Storm. As a result, he only had those 3 storms for the push, and after they ran out, he had no more splash damage. Downside of Storm, of course. As Bunny's moving out, going for the double drop. Now let's go for the double drop. Likewise, it up shades into the main base, gets a full scouts. Do have a 3-1-1 setup. Standard setup here by Bunny. And does get an SCV. Oh! Oh my god, barely not. SCVs do survive. And Zoun, he's mixing it up here. Interesting. The mine drop has arrived, and so far Zoun, he reacts well. Cleans up the mines. Shuts down the medevac. But for the first time this entire series, actually, Zoun, he opens 3-gate blink, he takes extra gases at the natural, and he's going for an early bay into early Colossus production. This is much safer play here, very safe play out of Zoun. As Zoun, he delays his 3rd base, he delays charge, he delays +1, he delays his gateway explosion in favor of a very early Colossus instead. Now, I say this is safe, I would say it's a little bit middle of the road in the sense. It's safe just because you get really early Colossus production, that is true. On the other hand, if Bunny was aggressive earlier, then he could try to break Zoun. He could try to break him, as he's going to be relying on that 1 Colossus early on. I would say this does make you a little bit stronger coming into the mid game, just because you hit 3 Colossus much faster, and it does keep you safe in the mid game. But you're vulnerable early on in the early game just because you're lacking gateways and lacking warpins and lacking a gateway army. Speaking of, Bunny getting ready to push. Stim is on the way, combat shields as well. Zoun is here to slow this down. Does get 1 tank. Very nice pickup. Gets a tank, picks up a couple of Marines, and again it's on Zoun to slow down this push while he builds up his Colossus. And so far so good. Does slow it down. As Bunny does move out. He does keep his tanks back at home, so the push has been deterred. Trying to get read what's going on. So is Zoun. Do you see what I see? Bunny, he throws down 2 more Raxes, not a 3rd CC. So this is looking very similar to the last game. So 2 more Raxes, is going for, okay, he's going for add-ons. Never mind, is going for add-ons. Now, if this was a 2-base all-in, usually we wouldn't see add-ons. We'd just see 2 more Raxes and just committed marine production. With these add-ons coming into play, it looks like we should be expanding, and we might even try to go for the gold. What are we going for? Show us that 3rd CC. Zoun, meanwhile, being active, making more Colossus. Observer does spot the army. Army spots the observer. Observer goes down. Add-ons are done. Now Bunny just going for a drop. Drop towards the main base. Still very committed here by Bunny. Still no 3rd CC. No expansion in sight. Bunny just making as many uses as he can. Vikings, Marauders, Wintermines. Double drop into the main base. Does distract down. The Pro's going to be falling. And Bunny's very committed here on 2 bases. Anyway, does escape. Bunny, he rotates over towards that 3rd base. Zoun's out of position. Going for the warp in. Colossus, they respond. They do attempt to respond. Oh, but the base is going to be going down. Massive pickoff. And we're 2 base all in. At this point, it's just a 2 base all in. There is no expansion. There's no 3rd CC. Bunny going for the kill. At the same time, does hit the 4th. Never goes off. Oh! Oh my god, brutal connection! And the Bio Army does go down. Bunny trying to force his way forward. Takes down the expansion. Takes down both 4th bases. Likewise, does stem in. Going for the Colossus. Barely gets both. Yeah, the Disruptor and Colossus goes down, and now we're just down to purely Gateway Army. Stalkers and Zealots hot pick up there, saves the tanks. 2 back up from home, 1 tank goes down. Zoun is barely holding on, needs more warp ins, needs more time. No, it goes off. Zones away. And again, Bunny did choose not to expand, did choose to commit to the 2 base all in. Oh, Zoun licks in. Oh no, gets one of the tanks. Bunny failed to save. At the same time, Doom drop into the main. Zoun out of position. Go does force a recall. This is some damage, but there's still no expansion, by the way. There's still no CC. At a certain point, once he was backing up, I'm like, oh, okay, maybe now he expands. No shot. Just straight up 2 base all in. Out of Bunny. There's an SCV here in position to have maybe expanded eventually at some point. But for the most part, it's all or nothing here for Bunny. Goes into the main. Full medevac goes down. Does get a full medevac. Bunny's still committing. Making a couple of SCVs. But not much more than that. And Zoun is going to shut this down. Never goes off. Oh my god, once again a brutal connection. It's all the Novas to the face. And at this point, Bunny, he's done it. Wow, he has done it. The comeback is real. 3 games in a row with 2 base all-ins. I should say, yeah, with 2 base all-ins, GG, well played. I guess technically a 3 base all-in earlier than that, but with that, congratulations, Bunny. He will take down a Zoun, just turning up the aggression to 11 there. We'll take the series. We'll make it through in 1st place out of Group C. GG. Whew. GG, well played. A very, very intense series. Again, we saw Zoun having more success in the longer, later games, getting into Skytoss, slowing the game down. But Zoun, at a certain point, he just had enough. He just had enough. Did decide to just commit, send it across the map, pulling boys at times, and committing time and time again. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Having success on Ultra Love, Killer's Mile, and on Sandworm as well. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are going to be going on a short break. Here. Up next is going to be the elimination match. That is going to be Dark versus Cure in a best of 5. So we still have 2 matches left. It's going to be this elimination match and then the decider match thereafter. So we'll see you guys soon after the break. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon.